So my buddy Marcus, you guys know Marcus, the one who's always dropping like $200 on the latest Jordan releases. Marcus sees me lacing up these Adidas Own the Game 3.0s at the gym and just starts laughing. I'm talking full-on belly laugh, like I just told him the funniest joke ever. He goes, "Dude, $60 basketball shoes? What's next? Are you gonna start shopping at thrift stores for your gear?" And honestly, I get it. I mean, when everyone's telling you that you need to spend at least $120 to get anything decent for basketball, a $60 shoe sounds like a recipe for disaster, right? But here's the thing. 6 weeks and 24 court sessions later, I'm here to tell you that everything we think we know about budget basketball shoes might be completely wrong. And Marcus? Well, let's just say he's not laughing anymore. Okay, so let me back up for a second and tell you how I even ended up with these shoes in the first place. I was actually browsing online for a completely different pair, was looking at some Nike Air Precision shoes in the $80 range. But you know how these websites work, they start showing you all these customers who bought this also looked at suggestions. And there's the Own the Game 3.0 sitting there for $60. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way these can be any good at that price point, right? Like, what corners are they cutting? But curiosity got the better of me, and I figured, worst case scenario, I'm out $60 and I learn a lesson about cheap basketball shoes. Best case? Well, I didn't really have a best case scenario in mind at that point. So they arrive, and right out of the box, first thing I notice is they don't feel cheap. The mesh upper actually feels pretty breathable. And when I pick them up, guys, these things weigh 14.2 ounces for a size 9. That's genuinely light, like lighter than running shoes I own. I'm holding them thinking, okay, maybe Adidas isn't just throwing together some random materials and calling it a basketball shoe. First test was at the downtown community center on a Tuesday night. You know those pickup games where everyone's trying way too hard to prove something? That was the vibe. And I'll be honest, I was a little nervous because if these shoes failed me in front of this crowd, I was never going to hear the end of it. But here's what happened, and this is where Marcus started paying attention. The court grip was actually legit. I'm talking solid traction on both the hardwood and when we moved outside to the blacktop court later. During these quick crossovers and defensive slides, I felt planted, confident. The Adiwear outsole that Adidas talks about, it actually works, not just marketing fluff. Now, I gotta be real with you about the cushioning situation. This isn't Nike Air or Adidas Boost territory. The light motion foam I use is more in the gets the job done category than the wow, this feels amazing category. But here's the weird part. After those 2-hour sessions, my knees felt fine. And guys, I'm 180 pounds with a history of basketball-related knee issues, so I notice when cushioning isn't doing its job. Actually, let me pause here because this is important. I think we've been conditioned to believe that expensive automatically means better protection. But what I discovered over these 6 weeks is that adequate protection isn't the same as premium feel. These shoes protect your joints just fine for recreational basketball. They're just not going to pamper your feet while they do it. The real test came about 2 weeks in when I was playing in this competitive league game. Fourth quarter, we're down by 3, and I'm guarding this guy who's been cooking me all night with his first step. And in that moment, when I needed to trust my shoes to help me stay in front of him, they did. The lateral support from that rubberized heel construction actually held up when it mattered. But let's talk about where reality hits, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows with these shoes. That narrow toe box that I mentioned, after about 90 minutes of play, you start feeling it. My feet aren't particularly wide, but there were definitely times during longer sessions where I felt like my toes were getting pinched. And if you're one of those players who's on the court for 3-4 hours at a time, these probably aren't going to cut it comfort-wise. Also, and this might be obvious, but these aren't built for daily outdoor abuse. I tested them on outdoor courts 8 times, and I could see the wear happening faster than it would indoors. If you're primarily an outdoor player who's out there every day, you're looking at maybe 3 to 4 months of life instead of the 6 to 8 months you'd get playing indoors. Now here's what's really interesting about the value proposition. I did the math. $60 divided by what I estimate to be about 200 sessions of life equals 30 cents per session. Compare that to a $150 shoe that might last 300 sessions, that's 50 cents per session. So even if these don't last as long as premium shoes, you're still getting better value per use. Marcus actually came around on this point when I explained it to him. He was like, okay, I see what you're saying. It's not about how long they last, it's about what you pay per time you use them. Exactly. But let me be super clear about who these are actually for, because this is where a lot of people get it wrong. These are perfect for recreational players, guys like me who play 2, maybe 3 times a week at the local gym or community center. If you're in high school and need affordable team shoes, these work great. Weekend warriors who just want to get some exercise and have fun with friends, you're golden. Where you should look elsewhere is if you're playing competitive basketball 4 or more times a week. The durability just isn't there for that level of use. If you're a bigger player, like 200 pounds plus, you're probably going to want more substantial impact protection. And definitely look elsewhere if you have wide feet, unless you're willing to size up a half size, which is what I recommend anyway. The honest truth about the On the Game 3.0 is that it's a solid budget basketball shoe that knows exactly what it is and doesn't try to be anything else. It's not going to revolutionize your game, it's not going to make you feel like you're walking on clouds, but it will give you reliable court performance without breaking the bank. And you know what Marcus said to me after watching me play in these for a month? He goes, I'm not saying I'm going to buy a pair, but I'm also not laughing at them anymore. Coming from a guy who spent probably $2,000 on basketball shoes in the past year, that's basically a ringing endorsement. So here's my bottom line. If you're a recreational player looking for reliable basketball performance and you want to keep your budget under $75, the On the Game 3.0 is worth considering. Just make sure you order a half size up, especially if you have normal to ride feet, and give them about a week to break in properly. Questions about these or want me to test something specific? Drop it in the comments below. I actually read and respond to every single one. And hey, if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. I've got more budget gear tests coming up that might save you some serious money.